स्ट्रीम स्टेटस बैड आ रहा है. Good morning, friends. We are here today to discuss the geography for both preliminary and the main examination. Now, in my audience, I feel there are two types of candidates, one who are having geography, one who are approaching the preliminary examination, which is there just in few days, less than 30 days, and one who are having a long-term goal of preparing or preparing the syllabus well and appearing next year. I will approach both the types of the candidates who are there with my best wishes for your first with your preliminary examination, which is on the next month of 23rd August. Now, before we start with the geography, as you all know, what is the importance of geography or how the geography is becoming more important for and crucial for selection in both preliminary examination and the main examination. For the preliminary examination, here the geography is so important, especially in this era now, that when there is a fight of each and every 1 mark for the general studies paper. What is the general idea? What is the general what are the number of questions asked in the geography for the preliminary examination? Somewhere between 20, 30. Somewhere between, if you combine this with environment and ecology, you will go to the number goes to around 35. That is a huge number. If you compare to the 100 questions, 35 are from environment ecology, and out of that, along with the geography, and out of that around 15 to 20 questions belong to geography itself. If we look at the geography distribution, number of questions asked in 2014, number of questions asked in 2013, 12 and 11. The number was somewhere around 19, more than 20. Here little bit less, around 16, and यहाँ पे the number went up to around 32 questions. So huge chunk which decides your selection, huge chunk which is very, very crucial for your selection. And I say huge chunk when it decides your final selection also, because geography is such a topic that if you are very well prepared, you won't miss a single question. But if you are not well prepared, or if you are not conceptually clear, you are same like a wind. You keep on moving from one direction to another without any stabilization. So what is very important, and if you are not scoring well in the preliminary examination, then obviously the performance in the main examination is hampered. Then obviously the performance or what to study for the main examination is being hampered, because this is a simultaneous process. If you just depend on the gap after the preliminary examination or after the preliminary results are announced, that is around only 1.5 month gap for the main examination. Very, very impossible to cover such a huge amount of syllabus. So before I start properly, my today's lecture plan will be, I will be discussing first the strategy or the sources for the 23rd August preliminary examination. This is for the candidates who are appearing for the preliminary examination. A different strategy, a different source, because now the time being very less and geography being very vast, obviously you will have to focus on the most important part here. Second is strategy and sources of how to prepare for geography for long-term perspective. That means if your target is next year, or how to prepare for geography even for this year's mains examination, so that it will help the 23rd August people. But here the strategy will be different from those who are appearing. And then we will discuss the syllabus and what I feel is the important topic for this year's examination. Very, very important topic, and how to remember those topics and what areas you should focus for this year's the preliminary examination. As I told you, Each and every mark becomes crucial now, because you will be fighting for one mark, 0.5 marks in this era, when your merit will be decided on 200 marks. 1-2 questions here and there can give you tensions, can give you sleepless nights. So better focus on some of the static subjects, of which geography is one of the subject. Very conceptual, very easy if you are comfortable with. The only drawback is extremely vast. The second drawback is, with the coming up of new syllabus, they have added world geography, which was earlier not very specifically mentioned. So world geography, where the sources are limited, where the books are very limited, that's where we come in and help you. Because the world geography, you have to focus on, for example, where is Turkey located between Black Sea, Caspian Sea, between the Caspian Sea, Aral Sea, the questions like last year, or what are the cities, how to approach such questions, which area to focus. Like last year they asked you South Asian cities, Indonesia, Jakarta, Singapore, arrangement of them in ascending descending order. You cannot go on remembering each and every city, but you know UPSC has some of the focus areas. What is the strength of geography? And I am not just saying about geography this year, I am saying what is the strength of any of the static subject. For example, geography is one of the static subject with some of the dynamicity introduced from environment and ecology. This subject are so correlated to each other that you have to interrelate, you have to interlink between these two subjects. Equatorial rainforest you will study in geography. The pollution, or the kind of a biomes, the kind of a animal life there, the kind of flora and fauna comes part of environment ecology. So very difficult to demarcate between these two subjects. The only thing demarcation is possible in the terms of ecological pyramid, in the terms of geographical processes. Rest part, the application part of environment ecology is very similar to the geographical part. So as you see, the number of questions increasing, they even expect this year the number of questions to be in the same range, around 20-25, and environment ecology around 10. So maybe entire chunk will make out to be 30 questions. Why the importance of this? Because from the 2013 onwards, don't forget that you have a combined examination for the forest services and for the civil services. The forest services, because the students are appearing for forest as well as civil services, obviously the importance of geography and environment ecology have increased. Coming to the mains examination, the importance of geography has increased manifold. How it has increased manifold, or why it has increased manifold? Before the new syllabus was introduced, from 2013 we have now geography's new syllabus has been introduced. Now before the new syllabus was introduced, geography used to form a small chunk for the mains examination, but it was always crucial for the preliminary examination. But now it forms a part of a paper 1 along with Indian history, world history, some social issues and geography. All except for the social issues, most of them are static subjects. Most of them are, what do you mean by static subjects? That you don't require that much importance of a current affairs. Obviously, if the answers are supplemented by your current affairs, if the examples, obviously you will get very high marks, but you don't require to update these subjects as fast, or there is no change in this subjects as compared to the polity. Every day new issue is coming, as compared to economy, as compared to some environment ecology. So history, geography, in history also I am saying modern India, geography, the physical geography, some basic concepts of environment ecology, polity, the basic constitutional concept of polity, economics, the basic concept, and science, general science, the basic concept. The 6 parts, you don't miss a single question in the examination, even in the preliminary examination, so that you will have an edge over the competition. How not to miss it, how to prepare it, that is what we are going to discuss it today. For the people who are going to prepare it for the first time, what should be their approach, how to approach a conceptual subject like geography, and how is geography why it is so terrifying to many people, why it is so interesting to many people, that is also we will discuss today. Now coming to here, the distribution of question marks, how will we distribute these questions in? We have general geography in the terms of physical geography, that is geomorphology. We have climatology. We have oceanography. We have biogeography here. These 4 parts, somewhere for the preliminary examination, somewhere around 4 to 5 questions. Then we have world geography. Only for the preliminary examination. This is a chunk which is very important, but it is only for generally for the preliminary examination. And then we have Indian geography, which will form around 80% of your questions in the examination. So these 3 parts of geography I will discuss again, but you remember that geography is the one of the most easiest subject if you know the proper way to approach it. The best thing about geography, except for some facts in the Indian part, except for some facts in the world geography part, except for some facts related to the soil, geography is so conceptual that is even if you don't revise it some days prior to the examination, you are capable of scoring. Now coming to the scoring in the examination, how many questions are you supposed to get right for geography, or how many questions are possible in geography? In geography, if you are studied well, if your knowledge level is good, if your preparation is well, around 90% of the questions should not go anywhere. They should be able to rightly click around 90% of the questions. In this 90% of the questions, I am saying this is with the good level of preparation. If you can apply a little bit of common sense, you can score up to 95% of the questions. If you can apply little bit of techniques such as negation by options, around 96 to 97% of the questions. And remaining 3 questions, the miscellaneous questions, I will leave it because you remember that it is the mother of all examinations. So obviously you are not expected, and you should also not expect yourself to prepare so high that is all 200 out of 200 questions can be possible. Same thing will apply to geography, something around all 30 questions out of 30 questions you can know, but around 25-26 questions very possible. And imagine if you are clear with 25-26 questions, edge you will get on your competitors, on your friends, on your competitors. The thing is, you can come that night and sleep properly, have peaceful sleep that you are going to write this year's mains examination. And I tell you, this is the feeling which is required to get selected, because till the time you are not very sure of your performance in the preliminary examination, your mains examination syllabus won't happen properly, or you won't be able to study for the mains examination. And if you don't study for the mains examination, you are losing precious 2 months and you are behind the competition. Then it is just a catching up game, and the catching up game won't take you anywhere. So coming to approach the geography, I will first discuss what should be the syllabus of a geography. We'll first come to the sources of a geography, first from the preliminary point of view, only for the 23rd August people, because they have a very less time required. Then I will come what should be your general approach of a geography. See, there will be slight difference between these two. For the preliminary examination people, your focus is on the 23rd August. For the people who are starting anew, or who are starting this time and their focus is next year, you can do the combined study of both mains, and once you are clear with the mains, then go to the preliminary examination. So these 2 differences will be there. For the preliminary examination, now for the preliminary examination, what are the major topics? As I said you, the physical geography, world geography, Indian geography. Not demarcated again, physical geography into 4 parts, world geography, the study of the continents in the systematic order, the study of a regional geography of the world, and Indian physical geography, the dynamic part of geography. As I say, why dynamic part of geography? That is whether what is sugarcane initiative, whether maize can be used to produce dash the XYZ things. Rice is used to produce XYZ things. That is the changing part, agriculture geography, economic geography. but the physical part. Where is Saramati peak located? Which part of India has a coral reefs? Which part of India has sandal? If you are going through Himalayas, what are the following kind of natural vegetations you will get? Oak, X, Y, Z. How to approach this part? Will be discussing some of the questions here, and how to approach this part with the common sense kind of an initiative. Now, first coming at the sources for the preliminary examination. As the time is very limited, your first source should be the basic source. We will divide this into the basic source, advanced source, and value addition. Your first basic source are the NCERTs from standard 11th, two NCERTs, that is relating to the physical geography and relating to the physical geography of India. Very important NCERTs, both these NCERTs relating to the two physical geographies. The second source are the NCERTs 12th standard relating to economic geography, human and economic geography, of the world, and human, land and people, that is human and economic geography, India. This is the second source. The third source is the G.C. Leong. Obviously, geography is a study of map, so one very good atlas. And the last source is the NCERTs from class 6th to 10th. Have a look at this order, that how should be your approach to the preliminary examination. First, be very clear with the NCERTs of standard 11th, then NCERTs of 12th. G.C. Leong, obviously the one very good atlas. Atlas is the simultaneous preparation. You do not have to follow this order, but for the preliminary examination people, my suggestion is that you refer to this NCERTs in the end. Don't start with 6th to 10th NCERTs, because you do not have that much time to start with the basic NCERTs right now. That obviously you will have to read it, but at the end of an topic, after covering this. Advanced source later on, value addition still later on. First, how to approach this NCERTs. Now, common question when I ask the students is, NCERT, have you read NCERTs? Yes sir, I have read NCERTs. पढ़ ली मैंने NCERT. How did you read it? एक रात में बैठ के ख़त्म कर ली, या फिर I have read it in for people for the people, I have read it in week. I have read it in 3-4 days. All NCERTs finished in a week. So these are important books. You see the amount of contribution, amount of hard work they have put in compiling those NCERTs. How can you finish, at least for the respect of those books, how can you finish these books in one night, 2-3 days? Not possible. Take a time. Use this book as your most valuable study book, NCERTs, and then you go to some other sources. Why? Because you remember, geography is a conceptual subject. If you understand the concepts, common sense will answer your most of the questions. What you won't be able to answer is the ranking population wise, ranking forestry wise, ranking some of the facts, some of the national highways it passes through, which state, which cities. Otherwise this all, but the most of the subject is conceptual. You won't miss on physical geography of both India and world. You won't miss on climate of India and world. You won't miss out on the oceanography of India and the surrounding and the entire world. You won't miss out on the basic concepts. So, and these basic concepts are very, very well given in the NCERT. The only thing is you have to study that book and not read the book. What do you mean by study the book? The study the book means take an NCERT, read the first chapter, understand the first chapter, try to solve the basic parts in the first chapter, then proceed to the second chapter. So how your approach to reading any of the NCERT should be, even for the preliminary examination, even though there is a lack of time, but obviously you can have to put some amount of time for better results. So start with the physical geography of the world, that is the NCERT fundamentals of physical geography. Go through each and every part. It is divided into the physical geography basic part, it is divided into the landforms, it is divided into the climatology part, and last it has some of the part relating to oceanography, it has some of the concepts of environment and ecology. So read each and every part of the book. You understand, you give importance to each and every line. First, whenever you start the paper, even now when you are preparing again for the examination, preliminary point of examination, start with your NCERT, keep an atlas and keep a notepad along with you. Now in this NCERT, the first chapter relating to landforms, the first part relating to landforms, very basic part of the landforms, that is what is the continental drift theory. It has explained you sea floor spreading, it has explained you plate tectonic theory. So very much conceptual part. So try to understand these theories are trying to say. So obviously these theories are trying to say the rifting of the continents, the movement of the continents and the landforms. Interlink. How to interlink? Fold mountains of the world are the highest mountains. In those same line you will be seeing what are these young fold mountains. The young fold mountains are X, Y, Z. For example, Rockies, Andes, Alps, Himalayas are the young fold mountains. And one of the line will be this young fold mountains are because of the coming together of two plates. When there is a coming together of two plates, there is an trench. There is a subduction of one plate below the other plate, that is when the two plates come together. One plate goes below the other plate while the sediments of the both plates are folded to form the fold mountains. So this subduction are represented by oceanic trenches. Open your atlas. At the same time open your atlas and see where the distribution of oceans, what are these young fold mountains they are talking of. How are the plate margins related? That means interlinking, you will use your interlinking power. Try to interlink, try to process it more and more deeper so that it fits in your brain. Now once you start to interlink, you will realize that yes, in the Rocky Mountain system of North America, there is a mountain, there is some trench here. Andes mountain, trench here. What happens to the Himalayas? Why it is not having any kind of an oceanic trench in the Himalayas, though Himalaya is an young fold mountain. So what should be your jot down on your pad? What is the name of this trench? What is the name of this trench? What are the deepest trenches? You will find it in the appendix. What are the deepest trenches? Which are the topmost 5 deepest trenches of each and of the world, and then each and every Marina Trench in Pacific Ocean. So what is the similar kind of a deepest trench in the Indian Ocean? Where is the Java Trench located, etc. So try to interlink as much as possible in the first part of geography, that is the theoretical part of the geography. Have a look at the atlas. This is the most common mistake we make, that when we study the continental drift theory, when we study the geographical part, we do not try to interlink. We are not sitting with the atlas. What we do, plate tectonic kar liya, then there are 3 kinds of plate margins. No friends, this era has gone. You have to interlink. They won't ask you what are the obviously kind of a plate margins. They will ask you what are the dynamic changes the earth on the surface of the earth due to the plate tectonics. What causes an earthquakes? What is the movement of a plate? When you say plate tectonics, obviously you know the 3 kind of boundaries here. But where you should obviously know the movement of the respective plates. When you say plate tectonic, when we say continental drift, there was a Gondwana land. There was a Pangaea, there was a Panthalassa. It broke into Laurasia, Gondwana land. After breaking down, Laurasia further broke down into North America, South America. One single, then two parts, then North America, South America. And what are the movement of this North America and South America? This North America and South America are now moving away from Africa and Europe, resulting into formation of an Atlantic Ocean. So what are these plate margins here? This movement is away from the Europe and Asia. That is what you have to remember. An applied part. Once you remember the applied part, then obviously there is, when these two plates are moving, you will know what is the boundary. Obviously, you know such kind of an boundary is a divergent boundary. Divergent boundary, what are the features associated with the divergent boundary? Upcoming of the basalt. For the people who are listening it for the first time, it may sound a bit technical. We will come to your strategy after finishing with the main focus of the preliminary examination. What is the upcoming of the basalt? The basalt comes out from because of the divergent plate boundaries. This basalt results into formation of a plateaus. One of the example you will find here, islands here. What is an island? Greenland is an island. Iceland is an island. Are they part of this? This is what you have to answer. This you will come by looking at the atlas or by reading the NCERT between the lines. What do you mean by reading between the lines? It means studying the NCERT. Studying means skimming the NCERT, reading it and revising it again and again. Once you revise any book, you will gain insights into the book, and then the book will be very, very easy for you. So strategy is same, basic books, basic NCERTs. And what is the benefit of it? You will get insights into the books, and later on for the mains examination, you are already finished with these sources. Then will come the time for value addition. Then will come the time for advanced level of learning for the main examination. So have a look at the atlas. Finish your Wegener's continental drift theory. What are the keywords in Wegener's continental drift theory? For example, I am taking a keyword in the Wegener's continental drift theory from the NCERT itself. Wegener's continental drift theory he gave in a Carboniferous period. What is this Carboniferous period? Why it is known as Carboniferous period? No answer is not given in the NCERT. Jot it down. Carboniferous period, why? Then you can search it later on. Then there was a supercontinent, superocean. The supercontinent broke and there were movements. What kind of movements? Polewards movements and the westward movements, resulting into formation of a present day continents. There were parts. What were the parts? The Laurasia broke down into North America and Eurasia. Eurasia means Europe and Asia. While the Gondwana land broke down into South America, Africa, Indian Peninsula, Australia, Antarctica and Madagascar part. That means these were the parts of Gondwana land. How to remember? Most of the continents here are developing continents except for Australia. So this is how you should use the techniques to remember the facts here. Now after that, why did they drift? That is one of the problems of Wegener. That is, he could not explain the forces. He could not explain what caused the actual drifting of the continents. And then why don't we cancel that theory? Because there were like a jigsaw puzzle. If you are knowing the story, somebody was fixing a jigsaw puzzle and they saw that America and Africa, South America and Africa exactly fit into each other, resulting into evidence of Wegener's theory being right. So then seafloor spreading. Why did the seafloor spreading take place? What is the seafloor spreading saying? It is saying about the divergence of a seafloor. Before the seafloor spreading, there was a convectional current theory by Arthur Holmes. It says of the convection currents which are rising, then the plate tectonic theory, and then the application part of a plate tectonic theory. Open your atlas. What does it say? Major plates, minor plates. In the NCERT, there is a list given of major plates and the minor plates. What is not given? That is your work. For example, if the Nazca plate is given, in the NCERT, there is a plate mentioned known as Nazca plate. There is a plate mentioned known as Cocos plate. Where it is located? The diagram will be given. It is your point, it is your work to write it there, that Nazca plate is located between the Pacific and the American plate. Same with the Cocos plate, located between Pacific and American plate. So this is what I mean by reading between the lines, and how it is influencing. It is influencing formation of Rockies, it is influencing the formation of Andes. Then there is a trench. Why it is a subduction zone? Because of the Peruvian trench. That means one plate is going below the other plate. Which plate is going? Heavier plate. There is a formation of a trench here. There are volcanoes in this mountain. That is, Andes and Rockies are the major volcanic mountains of the world. Then interlink it. Yes, India is also a cousin of these mountains. That is, they all belong to the same period. Then why do India does not have a volcanic eruption? Why do India does not have such kind of an oceanic trench? Idea is interlinking. Obviously, the answer you will get. These are the examples of ocean and continent collision. India is an example of an continent and continent collision. Because it is an example of a continent and continent collision, there is a lack of deep oceanic trench, as the Indian plate does not go deep inside the oceanic plate. So relating to, these are the different kinds of concepts you should remember. Coming to the next part, one of the important part in the geomorphology. What is the next part? Is the rocks. Next part before the rocks are the Earth's movements. Earth's movement. What are these Earth's movements? There are endogenetic movements. There are exogenetic movements. The endogenetic movements are further divided into diastrophic movements, that is very slow movements, and sudden movements. That these diastrophic movements are further divided into orogenetic movements and epirogenetic movements. And the orogenetic movements are further divided into folding and faulting. Obviously very much important, but what will be important for the preliminary examination? Folding and faulting. What do you mean by folds? How many types of folds are there? What is the open fold? What is a recumbent fold? What is a monoclinal fold? Focus on these definitions. Try to internalize this. Faulting. What are the kind of a fault? The diagram looks same. Then how do you distinguish reverse fault from the normal fault? Tension, normal fault. Compression, reverse fault. Elongation of Earth's crust, compression of an Earth's crust. Then which are again, open your atlas. There will be examples given. That is, the greatest fault lies, the fault valley lies in Africa. Fault valley lies in the Rhine Rift Valley. What is not given is the diagrams here. Open your atlas. In your atlas you will see in the map of Africa there is a red line given here that extends from the Africa right into the Dead Sea region. Now this is an example of a rift valley. What is your work as a student for the civil services? Take this rift valley, look at this rift valley and see what are those lakes of a rift valley. Dead Sea, it is a part of a rift valley, yes. Lake Victoria, that is one of the largest lakes in Africa, is it a part of a rift valley or not? No. Which are the lakes of Lake Nyasa? Is it a part of Rift Valley? Yes. So what are these lakes? From north to south, from east to west. But generally this is from north to south. So that if the question comes like for 2014 examination, when they have asked you to arrange the cities of South Asia in the ascending order, descending order, chronological order from north to south, obviously the question here can be, you are going from south of Africa to the north of Africa, which are the following lakes you will see? Lake Nyasa, Lake Victoria, Dead Sea, Rift Valley of Jordan, Rift for Jordan River. So what will be the chronological? It answers your question. Write it in your NCERT only, so that when you will be revising it for the second time, you will come to, you don't have to search for your notes. Then coming to faults. Where is the fault in India? It is written Narmada river region is a region of a fault. Rhine river region is a region of a fault. Then Rhine river is between which two mountains? Which mountain falls in France? Which mountain falls in Germany? That is what I say, internalizing the book. That is what I say is doing the book very properly. You will get the fact from the NCERT. The only thing is NCERT does not do the spoon feeding. You will have to work here. And if you go in this way, your preliminary examination success is very much guaranteed, because you will be studying the basics in this part. You will be using deeper processing methods, because at last colorful representation, NCERT, black and white, tough language. So you will be using this too. You will be making your own diagrams, and as a result of this you will be using it. Same thing applies to the physical geography of India. Now, before I go to the physical geography of India, the third part here, sudden movements, volcanoes and earthquakes. Earthquakes. Did earthquake occur? Yes, Nepal earthquake. So you should know the basics of the earthquake. Obviously, you should know the intensity zones in India, but don't get surprised if the question is asked on what is a Richter scale, what is a Mercalli scale, what does it measure, magnitude versus intensity. Or don't be surprised if the question is related to the Pacific Ring of Fire, or the earthquakes in the mid-Atlantic belt, or the earthquakes along the boundary fault. So you should know the best example is Pacific Ring of the Fire, mid-Atlantic belt, but one of the best examples of a fault boundary which has been a favorite question of UPSC, if you look at the past year question, is San Andreas Fault of California. What is it? Is it a, what kind of a boundary it is? Yes, it is a kind of an transform boundary when the plates slide along each other. Then coming to the rocks, one of the factual part I can say. The rocks are of three types: igneous rock, metamorphic rock, sedimentary rock. Yes, this is also you know. Now, what are the points here? Very simple points to remember. That is the rock system. But I think you should focus for the examination here on the difference between basalt and granite. Have a better idea of what is the basaltic rock, what is a granite rock. Then coming to the sedimentary rock. What are the different kinds of a sedimentary rock? What is a shale gas? Why the shale gas is very much important. And that is not obviously given in the NCERT. You will have to search it on the internet, or you will have to watch the lectures on SuperProfs. Then coming to the metamorphic rocks. What are the different characteristics of a metamorphic rocks, and which rocks? For example, limestone is converted into a marble, or the coal is converted into graphite, coal is converted into diamond. This is known as metamorphosis, that is change in the property of a rock. So make a list of this original parent rock, the metamorphic rock, and because this is a factual part, it will always help you if you have a notepad of geography's factual part, just to revise it some days before the examination. Now, what are the characteristics? Your study should be so deep that when you say the igneous rock, means crystalline rocks. Crystalline, some crystals are larger, that means intrusive igneous rock inside the earth. Some crystals are smaller, they are found on the outside part of the earth. Then coming to the sedimentary rock, this means these are what kind of a rock structure? These are straight-tailed rock structure. They are laid down in the layers, they are laid down on like a tablecloth in different kind of a bedding planes. Once you come to metamorphic rock, what should be the keyword that reflects into? They are foliated rocks. So where are the fossils found? Only in the sedimentary rocks. Why they are not found in the metamorphic rock? Why they are not found in the in the volcanic rocks? Too much pressure, too much heat destroys the fossils. So apply it, interlink it with the soil. Black cotton soil. Will the fossils be found in the black cotton soil, or will it have high quantity of humus? Humus comes from fossils, so the black cotton soil does not have humus. Red and yellow soil does not have humus. Alluvial soil, example of a sedimentary soil, has humus content. Come to the next part, landforms. The landforms are obviously very, very important for the preliminary examination, and very simple topic. This is a topic obviously you should not miss a single question here. So the landforms here, the landforms here, fluvial landforms, glacial landforms, karst topography and the wave landforms. Now what to tell here is, now for the landform parts, better rather than NCERT, you should refer the GC Lyon for the landform parts. And have a list of erosional landforms, depositional landforms. That is, what is an erosional landforms, what are the depositional landforms of fluvial erosion of such kind of, and these are the questions. Don't make even a silly mistake in the examination. That is, mera silly mistake ho gaya, no, not possible in some of the questions. It does not remain a silly mistake. Then coming to the second part, that is India's physical geography. Before I suggest you start with the India's physical geography, you come and read human geography, economic, human and world economic geography. This is the NCERT which many people who prepare for the civil services do not give that much importance, but it is one of the very, very good book which will help you no doubt in the main examination, but even small facts of the preliminary examination will be seen here, especially related to the world level. That is, what are the major economic regions of the world, which are the major industrial regions of the world, North America, South America, etc. Then come to Indian physical geography, one of the very, very beautifully written book. In the Indian physical geography, obviously you will be studying the different kind of landforms. That is, we are having Himalayas, we are having plains, we are having peninsulas. What is missing is the questions which are directly asked. So while doing the Indian physical geography, have a good atlas with you. Which atlas? Oxford Atlas, Orient Longman Atlas. These are the two better atlases. With some clarity, you can have any of the atlas with you. And while doing it, when what we miss in the examination is the where is such and such peak located, or where is the location. We generally do not answer the location aspects. So that is your work now. When you are studying any chapter, for example Himalayas, have a map, make your own map, and in your own map you should know the ascending order of Himalayas, descending order of Himalayas. So when you are studying the Himalayas, then obviously Karakoram range, Ladakh range, Zaskar range, Pir Panjal range, Dhauladhar range and Kailas. So these are the different ranges of the mountains in India. Do expect a question. This I feel is an important part. That is, from north to south, what is the range? Karakoram range, then it is followed by Ladakh range, then it is followed by Zaskar range, then it is followed by Pir Panjal, and then Dhauladhar. This is the part of Greater Himalayas, Trans Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Middle Himalayas and the Shivaliks. So have an chronological order of something like this. That is, what are the different kind of ranges. Same applies to the peninsular plateau region. Do your atlas, each and every one. Have how to do the atlas now. When you open the atlas, especially relating to Indian geography, because Indian geography they go bit deep in the mapping part compared to the world geography. When you open your atlas, the first thing is you should remember, you open the physical geography part of India. Just before sleeping or just before going, just after getting up in the morning, you can spend 15-20 minutes with the atlas, and then next time you can spend the time with when you are studying. Now when you are studying here, you should have a basic idea before you start the studying, that what the physical map of India, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, the different kind of mountains, Aravalis, Satpuras, then what are the rivers here, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, etc. This rivers, this basic idea you should know. Now when you study the Himalayas, do the Himalaya part very properly. So which states we are having Himalayas? They are the Himalayan states, of North India and the Himalayan states of Northeast India. North Indian states, as I told you, Karakoram range, Ladakh range, Zaskar range. This is the chronological order you should know. What are the important peaks here? Where Indus River flows between which two ranges? That is not given in the books. They are not given even in the guidebooks. And this is where the UPSC is focusing. That is how much effort you are putting it now. So make a list of make your own maps. Spend your time here, and though it will look painful, just some 30 days, 28 days before the examination, it will take time, but your study will be so deep that it will, though it takes time, it won't take any time for revision. Go to the Northeast India. What was the question last year? Where is the Saramati peak located? In which state? Nagaland? Where the answer was Nagaland. So how to know it? It is not given in the books, but it is very, very specifically given in the atlas. And if you are doing what I have said when you are while studying, if you are studying in detail, that is Garo, Khasi, Jainta, Abhor, Miri, Mishmi, Ringma hills, Dafla, Miri, Abhor and Mishmi hills, and the hills of Northeast India. You will see the Saramati peak located here. Look where it is located, and the answer becomes very clear. What the person who has not studied here, या जिफ मैंने NCERT पढ़ ली एक रात में, he cannot answer such a simple question and misses a simple question. So what then? You will have to take risk. If you miss the basics, you will have to take risk on the parts which are dynamic, where the answer, even the class, many classes will come with the answer keys, even they are not sure what the answer is. So how can you be sure when you are writing the exam obviously under the stressful condition? So don't miss out on the basics, don't miss out on the simple things. Your score will be good score. So this is how Northeast India. Now hills of India, what I will say is, have a basic idea, make a map like this, have a basic detailed map in your notes, detailed map of Himalayas, detailed map of Northeast India, and generally I feel the focus this year should be on the detailed map of peninsular India, that is Satpura range, and after Satpura range we obviously have the Western Ghat range, but what we miss is what is the mountain here? Ajanta range. What is the mountain here? Balaghat range. Harishchandra range, because the question can be Godavari river flows between which two ranges? It is between the Ajanta and the Balaghat range. Or Krishna river flows after which range? It is after the Bhima, and the Krishna is in the after the Harishchandra range. So the questions can be this way. Have a detailed look at the map in this way. Now coming to the soil part of Indian geography. Now coming to the natural vegetation, before a soil, natural vegetation and the climate. The 11th standard NCERT book is one of the best source for studying the climate. And obviously you do not have to study any more climate, you do not have to do any more of the climatic details. Thankfully you do not have to study the atlas too much into detail for the geographical part, for the climate part. Monsoon, and the question last year, every year there is one question of the monsoon, and if you have missed the question last year that what do you mean by monsoon, that it means seasonal reversal of the winds, then it is dangerous. You should not miss on such type of questions. Then coming to the later part, that is the natural vegetation, try to interrelate the natural vegetation, rainfall, try to interrelate rainfall and the soils. Now how to interrelate it? Remember a shortcut for the preliminary examination, there is an line which is a 100 centimeter line which shows the areas receiving more than 100 centimeter of rainfall in India. This is a line. So very heavy rainfall in this part, Western Ghats, very heavy rainfall in the northeastern region. What will be the kind of a soil? Lateritic soil in this region. laterites and laterites. So what, when you say word laterite, what is the other word you should strike in your mind? Leaching. What is the process of a leaching? In hot and humid regions, everything is removed from the soil. All organic nutrients are removed. The soil remains rich only in iron and aluminum. That is the process of an leaching. So then other than that, alluvial soil. Geographical, is there geomorphological control on the soil? Yes, red and yellow soil, basaltic soil, and the related, what is the soil rich in nutrients? Indian soil is generally poor in nitrates, except for the soils of the Tarai region. Now before I proceed, I have got one question, that which NCERTs of 12th standard you recommend, old or new one? See, I feel the world geography NCERT, the first NCERT which is here, the older one is very much better written and very detailed. So I feel personally that the older NCERT is good, but if you are not getting that NCERT readily in the market, even the newer NCERT is good itself. So you read whatever is available easily to you in the market. Don't go too much into old or new NCERT. The rest of the NCERTs are obviously new NCERTs, because Indian physical geography new NCERT is also a good NCERT. Economic geography, you should read the new NCERTs coming with latest facts and figures. So if you can get the first physical geography NCERT, that is the fundamentals of physical geography, old one, that is very much better. Otherwise you can focus on the new NCERT itself. Then coming to the soil parts, have a list of what soil is rich in, what the soil is poor in. This is the important part, I feel. Then coming to the natural vegetation, each and every year one question of natural vegetation, but this question of natural vegetation interrelate with your environment ecology. Thankfully here at SuperProfs we are having one of the best courses of the environment and ecology, I can say that, by Ravi sir. So you can study from the environment ecology from the SuperProf itself. So what are the different kinds of vegetation present in the environment, and what are the different kinds of vegetation, each and every one question based on this. And then lastly, the kind of national parks, again a part of environment ecology. What are the major national parks? Do one thing here, make the list when you are doing the current affairs, make the list of what are the different kinds of national parks. If you are thorough with the information, if you are, for example, if you say what are the different kinds of national park in the news, and study those national parks in detail, that means what is the national, which state is it located, what is the mountain or physiography of that national park, what is the forest type of that national park, what is the rivers of, what are the major rivers of that national park, and what are the climatic characteristics, what is the soil, and what are the animals found in the national park. Do it for the, because remembering the entire list of endangered, critically endangered species is difficult, but you can remember at least the ones which are there in the news. You can remember there are too many national parks in India, you cannot know which river flows through each and every national park, but at least 10-15 important national parks, because little bit of hard work, but you are gaining 1 mark over the 2 marks over the competition, you are gaining 1 question over the competition. Okay, then so how to approach it? If you can either watch the videos on the SuperProfs, or you can find it on the Wikipedia, because the time is very less, so you can find it on the Wikipedia. That is, what are the important national parks, what are the important climatic characteristics. Don't read the entire national park issue also on the Wikipedia. In the first 2 or 3 paragraphs itself you will know that what is the geography of a national park. Note it down, jot it down, and what are the important flora, what is the important fauna of that national park. That is only the natural vegetation of that national park. Now coming to people and economy, that is the 12th standard Indian geography NCERT, land and people. I feel this is one of the most important and best NCERT which you should know word by word. Word by word means You should know the diagrams, you should know the graphs which are given in the NCERT, and you should try to study and spend some time with that NCERT. And because this is the NCERT which will deal with the settlement pattern, which will deal with the agriculture pattern, which deals with the industrial pattern. If you look at the past year question papers, the more important is the agriculture pattern and the minerals pattern and the industrial pattern. Settlement pattern, fortunately UPSC is not asking much questions on the settlement pattern in the one less topic for you to study in the preliminary examinations, and therefore focus here on agriculture, focus here on the focus here on the industrial regions. Now once you finish with this, now in this NCERT, 12th standard NCERT itself, land and people, don't just read it. As I say, study it. Study it means reading the diagrams, studying the diagrams which are located. If XY iron and steel industry is located, then in that diagram generally the river which is flowing near the iron and steel industry is also given. The minerals, the sources from that nearby industries is also given, which is not mentioned in the paragraph, and the question comes from this. So study those diagrams in detail, and once you finish with these 4 books, then do the following chapters from the point of view. Land and people, sorry for some here mic problem. So when you will see here that if you look at Africa, you will look at Australia, you will look at North America, you will look at South America, the major features here will be given, and this is all you should know very properly. The major mountains, for example, North America, Rockies Mountains, Appalachian Mountains, Great Lakes. So Great Lakes from north to south, Great Lakes from east to west, Great Lakes from west to east, mountains, major mountain peaks, etc. This is what you are expected to know in detail, and this is what will solve your answer. That is what to focus on the world geography. See, now world geography, there is one problem with the world geography is that you do not get very good books on the world geography. But fortunately, we are coming, in just couple of days, I am going to upload some of the lectures with special focus on the preliminary part of the world geography, so that you do not miss out even 3-4 questions which come. The first 2 parts of the lecture will be the complete revision of the physical geography from the preliminary point of view, and then we will be doing each and every part continent wise. South America, the important physical features, South America, the important economic features, and South America, the important human features. Same with each and every continent. So you can watch those lectures, which will be just very short lectures of 1 hour duration for each and every continent. So we are going to do these things in detail of the world geography part, very much in detail. So you can we can here, in fact, if you are a student of a SuperProfs, or if you want to hear the world geography, I will be uploading some in just couple of days continent wise with special focus on the preliminary part, or what as I showed you, GC Leong, the last 10 chapters, GC Leong, the initial chapters. If the time is not permitting, then at least the last 10 chapters, and then the 12th standard world geography NCERT, and then the study of your atlas. That is the just before sleeping, just before getting up, or whenever you feel bored, take your atlas and look at each and every major part of each and every continent, major physical features of each and every continent. What does this physical feature means? As I told you, the physical features, major mountains and hills, major rivers, location, major lakes, their location, and major peaks, plateaus, etc., their location. And if you are looking at the standard map of a geography, that is only the first page, not the country wise map, the continent wise map of a physical geography, in each and every continent you will find a maximum 5 to 6 mountains. So you won't have to do too many mountains. It will come to around 25-30 mountains. Obviously Antarctica you are not expected to know much in detail. You should know this continent. Now coming to this year's focus, while current affairs, have an idea where did the Prime Minister of India, where did the President of India visit, which area was in focus this year. So you should know, as I say you, the important areas to focus this year. Is the Central Asia region, West Asia region, Scandinavia region, European region, अच्छा जा रहा है, गुड फीडबैक वो आ ही रहा होगा, हाई पड़ रहा होगा. अच्छा, सो 22 मतलब ये तो 25-27 ऐसे होता है. अच्छा, हाँ ये बाद में से देखते हैं. ओके, अभी जैसे यूट्यूब पर अपलोड हो जाएगा. ओके, फिर जाएगा वो. सर अगर ये हो सके तब तक कितना टाइम लगेगा? पता नहीं सर, दूसरा माइक ले लेंगे। सुशील वहाँ पे वो सिर्फ निकाल लेना। नहीं पानी निकाल दो, गिरा हुआ है ना।
अरे उधर पानी गिरा हुआ, जल्दी साफ कर, तो टाइम नहीं है।
रहने दे सुशील, जाओ। As I was telling you, what are the important areas to focus? Now, these are some of the important areas. How to know the important areas? That is, where did our Prime Minister visit? Though our Prime Minister visited many countries, but obviously America is all-time important area. Australia is every time important area. So, what are the other important areas which we generally tend to neglect? Is the Central Asia region. This is the region which has been focused. Mongolia, the regions or areas surrounding Mongolia. What is the most important geographical feature of this Central Asia region? For example, when you are seeing this region, you should know the Aral Sea region, the Amu Darya and Sir Darya region. These are the two rivers which drain into the Aral Sea. So do this. Again, you don't have to study any books for this. Just have a look at the atlas. And what to study? Aral Sea is between which two countries? It is between Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Such questions will come in the examination. So, Aral Sea. Which is the river which drains into the Aral Sea? Amu Darya and Sir Darya. What is the importance of Amu Darya? And does it form any boundary with any two countries? It makes the geography more and more interesting because you are getting a colorful atlas along with it. And so this is just an example. Again, some of the important features, that is Himalayan, Kunlun Shan mountains, Tain Shan mountains have a chronological order of the major mountain systems of the Central Asia. West Asia. Now here you have to focus on deserts of the West Asia, then plateaus of West Asia, and but most important is the capital cities of the West Asia region. Capital cities of the West Asia region. Same thing with the Scandinavian countries. But what is important, more important in the Scandinavian countries is the physical geography? Yes, but most important is the economic geography. So maybe one or two, that is, what are the name of iron deposits in Sweden? What is the name of iron ore deposits in the Sweden, or what are the name of coal fields in Germany? Though not a part of a Scandinavian country, but nearby West European country. So what are the name of a coal fields? Greece is in the news. Where does the Greece comes? Mediterranean Sea. So don't be surprised if the question comes on the islands in the Mediterranean Sea. Don't be surprised if the question comes on the volcanoes in the Mediterranean Sea. Don't be surprised if the question comes which volcano is known as a lighthouse of Mediterranean. So these are the different kinds of question you should know. Then for this, either you can do it, or just after a couple of days, as I told you, I will be uploading a series of lecture focusing only on the world geography for the preliminary point of view. Very short and good lectures on this. So these are the areas. So focus, but I am expecting more have a very good focus on Central Asia, West Asia, and lastly on China region. Have a special focus, and have a special focus means hills north to south, mountains, not each and every mountain. Don't go too much detail into the map of China. See the map of Asia, see the map of East Asia. It will be given, a larger map of East Asia will be given, and in that East Asia map, what are the major mountains you can see in China, what are the major rivers you can see in China, what are the major lakes or what are the major plateaus you can see in China. Same lies with the West Asia, because in most of the maps China and Mongolia are given as a separate, in most of the atlases China and Mongolia has a separate map. So have a look at the map. So what you see, you will see Himalayas, Kailash range, then Tian Shan mountain ranges, Kunlun Shan mountain ranges, Tarim basin, one of the favorite questions of UPSC. Tarim basin is located between which two mountain ranges? Lake Lop Nur, where it is located, which part of Han China, which is non-Han China, which are the three major rivers of China north to south, where does a major Yellow River drains into which exact part of an Yellow Sea? Is there any specific name? Same things with the major physical rivers of Southeast Asia, that is the surrounding regions. So have a look on this part. Then lastly, some of the miscellaneous questions. That is, last year there was a question, that is the sugarcane initiative. Now these are the questions related to the current affairs part. Either you can prepare those. If you are prepared, then very well, very good, but if you are not prepared, then don't worry too much about these questions, because they become, because these are in the 2%, which I said, as a obviously mother of all examinations, nobody can be super genius that they know all 100 out of 100 questions. So these are in those out of 200 questions, if there will be obviously around 10 to 15 questions you will have no idea about. If they will be in geography, they will be in science, they will be in art and culture, they will be in environment ecology. Don't lose your sleepless nights with this. Once you finish with this strategy, solve each and every question of last 10 years, and with this, the day you will face the examination, you will be very, very comfortable with the syllabus, with your preparation. Now this is the general idea of geography I have given, but this applies to each and every subject, that is solving the past year question paper. Okay, so that is you should have, and this is the general idea for the preliminary examination. Now if you want to see the lectures, though most of our lectures are prelims cum mains examination, but as I told you, so we are having some world geography part only for the preliminary examination, and after the finishing of each and every part, geomorphology, climatology, Indian geography, there will be a revision part of geomorphology, there will be a revision part of climatology, which will help you in the preliminary examination. And then coming to the normal syllabus, normal preparation for the other students. So for preliminary students who are going to face the 23rd August examination, wish you very, very all the very best. Don't forget to focus on the which I have missed out. Don't forget to focus on the roads and ports of India, eastern ports, western ports. India, when you say political India, don't forget that Pondicherry is on the western coast as well as eastern coast. So on the western coast, which part of Pondicherry lies? What is the name of it? In which state? On the eastern coast, what is there? So national highways, focus on the golden quadrilateral highways and what are the names of those national highways. Focus on NH7, focus on the highways which go into the deepest part, because very, very simple questions like last year. Don't miss out on these questions. So with this, wish you very best for your preparation. Now coming to the people who are going to face the examinations next year, or who are going to first study for the later part of the examination, your strategy is little bit different. You do not have to start from the 11th, 12th NCERT. You can start from the basic NCERT. For the freshers, start with basic NCERTs. That is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th NCERT. Once you start with those basic NCERTs, you go read it along with the atlas. 1 reading, 2 reading. After this 3 tick marks, go to 11th standard NCERTs, then go to 12th NCERT, and fourthly go to GC Lyon. And after that, India Yearbook, latest one, and Economic Survey, latest one. This is the basic strategy what I am saying, but this will suffice only for the physical part of the geography. Some part of the geography is also present in paper 3 in the terms of infrastructure, in the terms of cropping pattern, in the terms of urbanization problem, in the terms of settlement problems. So what is it? A relevant source for this, a good source for this will be Yojana and Kurukshetra. So the relevant topics, not all Yojana related to all, but if the Yojana is related to the rural development, then obviously you should buy that Yojana. If the Yojana is related to, or Kurukshetra is related, Yojana is related to the housing problems in India, settlement problems, urbanization problems in India, same with drinking water, cropping pattern in India, you should have a look at it. Don't just buy these books and keep it in the shelf. Read those books, tear away the pages from those books, make it in the file, because in Yojana and Kurukshetra, these books, for example, Yojana April issue, which will be dedicated to only one issue, that is urban problems. Then all the articles will be mostly on urban problems, and all the articles will give you the same perspective. There will be only some points on those articles which will have a different perspective. You just look at the index, try reading the article. If you are interested in the article, read the entire article. If you like the article, then tear that article, keep it in the file. Do this for all Yojanas, do this for all Kurukshetra. Your file will be not that thick file, but if you keep on compiling those Yojanas, it will be this much big compilation. Now this is how your strategy for the mains examination should be. Now for the freshers, your first study should be for the mains examination, because if you are very good with the concepts of geography, you are very good with the parts of geography, then the remembering some facts just a few days before the prelim examination is not at all a problem. So your basic strategy here should be on the mains examination. So when the mains examination, the syllabus will be same: physical geography of India, physical geography of world, human geography of India, human geography of world. But here the questions which will be asked in paper 1, some simple questions will be asked. What is continental drift theory? Physical geography, generally very simple questions will be asked. But for the human geography part, agriculture geography part, dynamic questions. That is your interlinkages. That means somewhere in the NCERT you will read the tea growing regions of India. Somewhere after 3 chapters you will read the tea cultivations in India, or tea industry in India, or agro industry in India. Here you will read the climatic characteristics. Here you will read it requires a cheap labor. And the question in the examination will be amalgamation or a mixture of these two. That is why the tea industry, tea gardens are located in the northeast India only. Or then your answer is first climatic and the second human. Climate, hilly region, no draining of the soil, gets high rainfall, heat. But for tea plantations you require cheap labor. Where is that cheap labor available? It is available in Bihar, Bengal area. It is available in this area. So jute industry, so tea industry located here. That is what I say interlinkages. And once you are comfortable with this too, your preliminary examination, I don't think so becomes a problem. If you are very good in the mains examination, your preliminary examination is not at all an issue. So this is the way you should approach. First, approach the basic NCERTs, you will get lot of insights. Don't start with 11th, 12th NCERT. If a fresher starts with 11th, 12th NCERT, then he will stop reading geography within 4 or 5 days. That is the experience I have seen. That is what experience has also taught me. So start with the basic NCERTs, because here if you are reading with the NCERT, 11th NCERT, you will think as if you are reading some science. Here if you start, you will understand the core concepts here. So go in a chronological order this way. Last GC Leong. Why last GC Leong? Because heavy book, small book but heavy book, one of the most beautiful book. So here you should know what to pick from GC Leong. Some of the chapters are given, there are too many examples which are given in GC Leong. So what to pick it? And the good thing is, for the freshers, we are having a very good course which is being uploaded on the geography, which covers both preliminary part and the mains part. Now at the end of each and every topic, I have discussed in the lectures that this part is for preliminary examination, this part is for the mains examination. At the end of each topic, you will be getting, that is the larger topics. In the geomorphology is a very big topic, so between the two parts of geomorphology, you will be getting MCQs, test your progress. The best thing of MCQs, your conceptual clarity increases. The best you can, and also giving you some of the assignments which you try solving it, because maybe you won't be interacting on daily basis, so you can write the answers to the assignment and then you can ask your friend, or you can see the lecture again and see what value addition you can do to the question you have written. You can be your own judge, because you only know that what is your level of preparation or how you can improve that answer series. So this is how you can go it. So this is how you should go. Yojana Kurukshetra, as I told you, Yojana and Kurukshetra, be very specific about Yojana and Kurukshetra, and how to prepare best. To prepare best for any examination is the solving past year questions of that examination. So solve the past year questions, try writing the mains examination part. Take the mains examination past year questions and try solving them, try writing them, at least make, and we can say a structure, a skeleton for last 10 years paper of each and every topic, not just geography, of each and every topic. Have a last 10 years skeleton. Now I am not saying write an answer of last 10 years, but have a skeleton of those. And once the skeleton is ready, that is your ready reference. With your mains in hand, go for the preliminary examination. Considering that next year it will be in August, you can start with your preliminary examination from the month of Feb or March, whatever is comfortable. If you are not very comfortable, from January, or if you are very comfortable, from March, April itself, you can start for preparing for the preliminary examination. But have a good control on the mains examination. And before you start with the before you write the preliminary examination or start with the preliminary examination syllabus, make sure that your main studies for the static subjects which are common to both prelims and mains, that is arts and culture, that is modern India history, that is geography, that is polity, only the static part, that is economy, the basic and the static part, social issues is done. With this in your hand, your prelims, you won't face any problems, and that you can start preparing for the mains examination from the next day itself. And one day extra gives you an extra edge for the mains examination, because this examination is all about persistence, this examination is all about preparation and all about handling the stress. So be very well prepared. First mains, then prelims. Have an idea that is these are the static topics, and before my mains examination I will be going with my static topic before my preliminary examination. So what remains is just updation and revision in the next 3 months of the after the preliminary examination. So with this, you have any idea in mind, you can start for the mains examination part. So with this, now for as regarding to the lecture series, we will be uploading again, continuing with the uploadation of a lecture series. You can watch the lecture series. Some lectures are available on YouTube. Obviously the premium lectures are there on the SuperProfs. So with this, I wish you all the very best for your preparation, all the very best for your examination, and be in touch and keep watching SuperProfs. Thank you very much. And as we say that we make exams easy, so exams easy in the terms of your syllabus and also in the terms of your saving of time. So you get the syllabus entirely on your desktop at your own convenience. I can take questions now. If you have any questions relating to this year's preliminary or approach of the syllabus, I can take the questions now. I got one question that is, how is the book by Spectrum Publications for Geography and Science and Technology Developments? Science and Technological Development, yes, Spectrum Publication is a very, very good book. But for geography, that becomes a heavy book which is not required for you as a general studies. For general studies, have basic NCERTs and you can have a large guide book, or you can, in fact, your NCERTs itself will suffice. Geography is more of a subject of interrelation and more subject which you develop on your own. So have one basic notes, maybe some class notes, maybe SuperProf notes, maybe my lecture series, and then NCERTs. No need of Spectrum, no need of this any other book. I got one more, that maybe there was a mic problem, that what sir you mentioned to read between the lines in NCERTs. Now I am trying to listen between. So how to read? Reading between the lines means using revising your book again and again. Maybe after 3 revisions, maybe after the 4 revisions, you will get insight into the book. See, NCERT, even if you are reading it for the 4th time, there will be new insights in the book, because that is a book which is prepared by using the inputs from the topmost professor. It is not just one person who has written the book. See your index, there are at least 10 people who are given the inputs. So obviously at least spend 10 days to that, give the respect to that NCERT, spend at least 10 days, that is what I am saying. Reading between the lines, give at least 5 reading to the NCERTs. One more question, how to read the India Air Book factual data? As I said, focus on the India Air Book parts, that is the geographical part, that is land and people. You can look at, or I have already repeated here. Now the factual data is there. Don't do too much of a factual data. Factual data is not that much as. What do you mean by factual data? Is this is not a factual data, that is where is the first HEP in Asia. First HEP Asia, while doing energy chapter, you will see that the first hydroelectric project in Asia is the Sivasamudram project. That is data, that is not a factual data. This is obviously some bit and piece you should remember. What you don't have to remember, that how much megawatt was it, who inaugurated it, how much money has been spent. This is not. National Agriculture Insurance Scheme, the basic of that scheme you should know. Energy, power sector, where are the important minerals found, what is the grid connectivity of India, this, or what is the renewable energy potential of India. This factual data you should know. Don't go too much, that is what is the budget allocation. This is obviously not. Any India Year book, that is why I say India Year book later on, because very fast reading, once you are knowing with the basics, you should know what to pick up from the India Year book. Only some relevant portion. So from the page, if this is some topic of an India Year book, it is generally divided in the paragraph. You will see the only first few lines of a paragraph are important in India Year book. Rest of all is a factual data which is not that much important. So with this I will stop. Thank you very much and wish you all the very best.